Life shouldn't be hard. Life should be a fun-filled adventure every day. So now start joining up dots. Tap into your talents, your skills, your God-given gifts, and tell your boss, you don't deserve me. I'm out of here. It's time for you to smash that alarm clock and start getting the dream business and life you, well, of course, are dreaming of. Let's join your host, David Ralph, from the back of his garden in the UK, or wherever he might be today, with another jammed-packed episode of the #1 hit podcast, Join Up Dots.
Yes, hello there. Good morning to you, and welcome to the second episode of the Definitive Guide to Success. Yes, this is episode 2, but we're going to call Belief. Now, if you'd listened to episode 1, it was all about you creating your life. You are the only one who really wants to move forward, develop bigger income streams, have luxury holidays, or whatever you want in life. You're the only one. Everybody else would be quite happy. They say, oh yeah, we want the best for you. But actually, more often than not, they will route you to the spot and tell you all the things that could potentially go wrong. And isn't it better just to have a safe job? I remember many, many years ago, I started working in a high street bank in 1986. And my mum used to say to me all the time, oh, it's a job for life. It's a job for life. And I remember thinking to myself, who actually wants a job for life? I don't want to be here for my life. I want to use it as a stepping stone to something else. Now you can, because you have got opportunities using the internet, using online, using relationship building, network tools to truly create your own life. But it's down to you. Now, in the second episode, as we're going to say, we're going to talk about belief, because throughout the last 2,000 episodes of Join Up Dots, it's become clear to me that certain traits are demonstrated time and time again. It doesn't matter if it's from an online marketer, an astronaut, athlete, or entrepreneur. You can find that within the person being interviewed, they all display the same attributes that build success. Now, over the next few months, we're going to bring you the Join Up Dots Definitive Guide to Success series. This is episode 2, of course, highlighting those developed strengths which you can then duplicate in your own life. Take the learnings and struggles of the super achievers and work on each and every one as you bring them into your own life. Use their skills to shine the light on your own success and take you to wherever you dream to be. Now, it's one of the hardest things, I suppose, to truly believe in yourself, because we're always kind of told to be realistic. We're always told. Now, if you go back in time and you're a little 5-year-old and the teacher says, what do you want to be? And you go, I want to be the King of England. She's not going to say, well, that's not actually possible unless you are second to the... They're not going to actually factually throw information back at you. You can just do anything you want. You can do that. You can be a ballet dancer. You can be a professional football player. You can be anything you want. Belief is all around you. And so that's why small children are very much focused on being astronauts and spacemen and princesses, because opportunities are there to be had. But of course, as we proceed through, more and more times we say, I want to be this. And people will say to you, do you know how hard that is? Do you know how few people achieve that? And so your belief gets chipped down, down, down until it's a tiny little thing of realism. Yeah, I get a job in a bank. I don't want to be a podcaster. I don't want to be broadcasting my words across the world. I get a job in a bank. That's more realistic. So what we've got to do, first of all, we've got to believe that whatever you want to do is possible. You've got to believe that you can do it regardless of what anyone says or where you are in life. And one of the best ways of doing this, and I was quite lucky really, because I started Join Up Dots, I was instantly surrounded by online entrepreneurs and marketers and successful people. And so it was obvious that they're doing it. Why can't I do it? And so I surrounded myself with a bubble of, I suppose, forward realism. It was something that I knew I could do because other people were doing it, and it was surrounding me. So it was my life. And when you're surrounded by things, It's very easy to bring that into your own life and become that thing. Now, if you want to be anything, and this is totally up to you, you're sitting out there thinking, yeah, I'd really like to be this. I'd like to be an author. I'd like to be a TV star. I'd like to be whatever. One of the first things you've got to do is start surrounding yourself with those people. Now, you're going to say to me, no, David, I want to be a TV star. I don't know any TV stars. Okay, it doesn't have to be real. Go online. Get some pictures of the people that you admire most and then cut them out and then stick them all around you. So all the time you're seeing people that are doing what you're doing. And it sends a signal to your brain because your brain can't decipher between fantasy life and real. Your subconscious works in a way that the more you see these images and the more you focus in on it, it starts to actually build your life. Now, you might say that's very law of attraction, but the elements of the law of attraction that work are amazingly powerful, and visualization is one of those things. So if you want to be something, start surrounding yourself with images and pictures. When I started Join Up Dots, I used to have a vision board. And there was like 6 or 7 images that I used to look at every day. And I remember when one of the first ones was I wanted to earn $5,000 a month online. That was my big thing. I thought, well, if I earn $5,000 a month, then I would be earning $60,000 a year, and that'd be quite a lot more than I was earning in a job. But it was under my own control. And so I focused in on that every day, and I used to look in the mirror and I used to say, right, David, I'm going to work on something to bring that into my life. And when I achieved it, it was a breakthrough, because then I realized that it is possible. I'm not just kind of faking it. I'm actually convincing myself because I've made it occur. Then you can move on to bigger and bigger. And I remember when I had my first 6-figure month. Now, that blew me away. How the hell can you earn 6 figures in a month? You know, that's like 3 years money, 4 years money for most people. How is that possible? And once again, I was kind of holding myself back because I didn't kind of believe it was possible. Now I look back on it and I know that it's all about providing value to the right people. And so I've done that 3 or 4 times now over the last few years. And so I now know it's possible. And so if it's possible, why can't you do a 6-figure day? Why can't you just keep on moving forward? But the key thing to it all is you have to visualize. You have to understand that your brain needs the signals to start saying, my life isn't what I'm getting now. My life is what I'm getting in the images and the visualization. And by doing that, you can start to act as if. Always act in a way that is consistent with where you want to go. Now, I used to get jobs really easily. And one of the things I used to do was very much discover who was in the job and mimic them. And so if I wanted a job as a sort of a board member in a company or whatever, I used to dress like a board member. And then they can see me and they go, oh yeah, I can see him doing that job. Now, I wasn't in that job, but I was acting as if. And when I was a podcaster, and before I even started podcasting, I had to get about 50, 60 people to be on a show that didn't exist. And so once again, I used to write out, making out it was the biggest show ever and they would be a fool not to be on it. And I had people lining up. I didn't go through and go, I really would appreciate that you could come on this show. I've never done a show before. I basically said, this is Join Up Dots. This is the biggest show out there. We are hitting the ground running and you would be idiots. You would be idiots not to be on the show. And pretty much I do the same now. So you've got to act as if. And once you've done that, then you take action towards your goals. If you're not focused on where you're heading, nothing's going to happen. And you'll see this through the success guide all the way through. It's about taking action. Now, through Join Up Dots, we talk about creating online businesses. And one of the things I always say to people is you can start a business in a day. It's just the action. You decide on what you want, you decide on how much money you want to earn, you decide on what value you're providing to somebody, and bang. And I can literally launch a business a week. There's so many ideas out there just by getting somebody to build the website, buying a URL, finding out where the traffic is, and then bang, you're up and running, and then you just have to build it. Everything is action towards your goals. Okay. But if you don't believe it's possible, then you are dead in the water. Now, let's hear the speech from Steve Jobs. And I want to pinpoint something in it, which is really, really important. Now, we play this most days on the show, but there's a part of it that whenever I listen to it, I go, yeah, I totally agree with you, Steve. I totally agree with you, Mr. Jobs. But this bit, you're full of crap. You're full of crap, and I don't agree with it. Let's listen.
Of course, it was impossible to connect the dots looking forward when I was in college, but it was very, very clear looking backwards 10 years later. Again, you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. You have to trust in something, your gut, destiny, life, karma, whatever, because believing that the dots will connect down the road will give you the confidence to follow your heart even when it leads you off the well-worn path, and that will make all the difference.
Now, the one thing that I scream at that all the time is he says, you've got to believe that the dots will join up. He doesn't say you've got to believe in yourself and make those dots join up. And that's the key point to it. You've got to believe that it's possible. You've got to believe that you can do something. And I don't care what it is out there today. If somebody else is doing it and you've got the skills that you can develop, then there's no reason why you can't do it either. Okay, it may take time. You may be chipping away for years. It might be something that you don't actually get to where you want to be, but you're in the vicinity. You're in an environment that might be good for like people that want to be authors, and then they end up being movie screenwriters, or people that want to be actors, and then they end up being acting coaches. There's always something close by to your dream that you can make it happen. I remember working with a guy and he wanted to be a professional footballer. And to be honest, even though I like to say you can do anything you want, he's not going to be. The chance and the percentage of people that end up as professional football players is unbelievably small. It's like sort of, I don't know, 100 people out of 40,000. You know, it's tiny, tiny, tiny. And it was obvious that he couldn't do that. But he now works for his local football team, and he goes in there and he does training courses, and he deals with the sort of the social side of the company. And so he wanted to be a professional football player, didn't get it, but now he works in professional football. And that was because he believed he could do it, and he took the action towards the goals. Don't let fear stop you. Nothing happens in life until you take action. So Steve Jobs, change it next time, change it. Believe in yourself, because if you believe in yourself, you surround yourself with images of people doing things that you want to do, or connect with real people, and then start acting as if the action towards the goals becomes easier and easier, and you will move forward to where you want to be, just like all our other guests have done through Join Up Dots. Thank you very much for listening to the episode 2 of the Definitive Guide to Success. We'll be bringing you more over the next few months, but until that time, we'll see you again. Cheers. See ya. Bye-bye.
That's the end of Join Up Dots. You've heard the conversation. Now it's time for you to start taking massive action. Create your future, create your life. It's the only life you've got. And we'll be back again real soon. Join Up Dots, Join Up Dots, Join Up Dots, Join Up Dots. Join up, join